Hello and welcome back to Green Money Momentum, where we talk about market movements, making money, and money momentum. I'm your host, Trevor, and we are here for yet another daily talk of stock, where we talk about the stock market 5 days out of the week. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. And if you are returning, welcome back. We have been growing. I have been seeing the subscriber count rising. I have been seeing more likes, comments, and views. So thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it, as I love doing this. So for everyone who comes to my daily videos, thank you so much. We will continue on this trend, and you guys are who motivate me. And so with that being said, now time to talk about the stock market, which today was green. So when we do look at the heat map, we do see there was a decent amount of green. It wasn't super green, so it wasn't soaring like the last couple days this week in the market. We have seen some massive green candlesticks. Today, the markets did finish green, but a bit more flat. So the markets were actually a bit shaky today, and it started off with the news around inflation. So the numbers around the core inflation were released today, and we do see that the rate on inflation rose to 2.7% in May, more than expected. So we know that with the Federal Reserve and with Jerome Powell, just this week, they were talking about how possibly the rate cuts would come sooner than expected. But we do know that the Fed is data dependent. And so now that we're seeing that inflation did go up more than expected in May, this is actually a negative catalyst. This could mean that the Fed next month will more than likely pause interest rates once again. They were already expected to, but now that we see the core inflation rose, it is even more likely now that they will pause on those interest rates. So first we had that, and then we had this Truth Social post from the president, and he wrote, "We have just been informed that Canada, a very difficult country to trade with, including the fact that they have charged our farmers as much as 400% tariffs for years on dairy products, has just announced that they are putting a digital services tax on our technology companies, which is a direct and blatant attack on our country. They are obviously copying the European Union, which has done the same thing and is currently under discussion with us. Also, based on this egregious tax, we are hereby terminating all discussions on trade with Canada immediately. We will let Canada know the tariff that they will be paying to do business with the United States of America within the next 7-day period." So some huge news, first around inflation and then around tariffs. And overall, we do know that the markets have been seeing a lot of recovery, and there has been a lot of strength, just like there was today. So a lot of strength in the market, because if we saw news like this around inflation or tariffs in the early months of the year, so between January or April, we would have seen the markets bleed and stay down. But the markets did bleed initially on both these bits of news, but then did rise up. So the markets still did finish green for the day, just like the markets have been on this great recovery. So we do know this week that the SPY broke all the way up to 614, and the triple Qs right now are at 547. So we're already back to where we were before all the bleeding that we saw at the beginning of the year. And so if you participated in these markets on this great recovery, congratulations, because this is what the markets are all about: preparing ourselves in great moments for great opportunities to make great profits. But I know the bear gang can't be too happy, because during the whole time of this great recovery, I know some of the bears have had to be biting their nails, because they have been calling for the big bleed, but the big, beautiful uptick is what has been happening. And so with that being said, we're going to talk about one of our favorite plays on this channel, because that has been on a big, beautiful uptick, up 50% for the week. It's that big guy back there, Mr. Big Bear, and we are bullish on the Big Bear. So we're going to visit that stock today. As always, though, this is not financial advice, and you should always do your own due diligence before making any financial decisions. So when we look at the Big Bear over the last week, this stock has jumped by about 50%. Absolutely massive gains in the Big Bear. We saw the stock go from being just around $3.80, bounced up to $4, and then this week things got really crazy as it jumped all the way to $5.80. Then we did see a decent retraction around 20% the next day. So we did see a bit of a bleed, but the stock returned right back to that level of 580, which is now acting as a major resistance and support as the stock is sitting right at this level. So hopefully the Big Bear could continue to see more positive price movements, and we could see 580 more of be the support than the resistance. So it's going to be interesting to see on Monday if Big Bear can break past this current level of resistance. And if we do break past this next level of resistance around 580, I see a scenario on where we would go right back to this level around here, around 670. And so I think there is a lot of opportunity just to that point of 670 if Big Bear breaks past 580, and then just to the 52-week high, a lot of potential there, about a 75% jump for investors that are now just entering their position into the Big Bear. And a lot of investors jumping into the Big Bear right now. We know that to be true when we look at the volume. So we can see that the volume in the Big Bear is soaring. We're seeing highs for this year in terms of the volume and a big short interest in the Big Bear right now. So we have a short interest at 27%. The volume rising in the Big Bear as well as the price. The shorts can't be too happy as we're getting a potential short squeeze opportunity here. The price and the momentum is growing in the Big Bear, rightfully so, as it should, because this company is growing and their next big event is going to be in 34 days with their Q2 earnings. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what is in this next earnings report. And we're seeing some momentum building into this earnings report. We know that with Q1, they said that they did have some big government contracts in the pipeline, that they were getting paid by them, but they hadn't necessarily shown up in the balance sheet yet. So a possibility that it will show up in this next Q2 earnings. And we could see that Wall Street does project this earnings to be better than Q1. Hopefully we do see Big Bear meet those earnings and even blow past those expectations, because right now, while Big Bear is jumping, there is no major catalysts in the short term that have caused this 50% jump in just a short amount of time. So very exciting news for those who have invested into the Big Bear early. And I know myself, I am very, very bullish on the Big Bear, and I am very excited to see what we see in the coming weeks. But I would be curious to hear what everyone else has to say. So please let me know what you think of the Big Bear down in the comments section below, if you're bullish or bearish on the Big Bear. As always, I appreciate you guys being here for my daily talk of stock. Usually I talk about a few more plays, but just a short video today. But be ready for this weekend, because I'm going to do my top 3 stocks for the month of July. So that should be a good video. But as always, thank you guys. Please drop a comment. Please leave a like, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. It's about to be the weekend, so have some fun. Go out there, enjoy the sun, touch some grass, and just enjoy your life. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video, the top 3 stocks for the month of July.